Visualisation, one of the most common sports psychology techniques, and for good reason. You'd be hard pressed to find an athlete at the top of their game that doesn't practice some form of visualisation. Hang around because I'm going to show you why visualisation works, its benefits, and how you can start on your own visualisation practice with 4 simple steps. My name's Luke Pryor, I'm a psychologist and ultra runner and the founder of Endurance Performance Team, a community of people that are focused on creating a strong mindset to support their running adventures. There's a free 8-week mindset course if you click on the description below. If you decide to work with me one-on-one, then visualisation is definitely something we'll develop and work on together. But today, you get a little cheat sheet to kickstart that process. Visualisation, sometimes referred to as mental rehearsal or mental imagery, is pretty simple. Essentially, you're just imagining yourself playing through your sport in your own mind. However, there are a few tricks to this practice to make sure you get the best benefit and value out of practicing visualisation. Think about all the what-if type thoughts we have about our sport. This is a classic tell for anxiety. And this largely occurs because our brains don't like uncertainty. When we feel uncertain, our anxious minds can run away with the show. Practicing visualisation gives us an opportunity to work through some of those uncertainties ahead of time, giving us a number of options or strategies to handle them when and if they do occur during our sport. Because you've lived that situation in your mind already, there is less uncertainty and therefore less anxiety. This leads us on to the second benefit of visualisation. It helps us build confidence. And the best way to gain confidence is to have success in something, or to have done it well in the past. When we can visualise a hard section of a race and getting through it, when we can visualise the pre-race nerves, it makes an imprint in our brain and thus becomes primed and ready for action when we need it in real life. This gives us an edge and helps us build our confidence that we can overcome difficult situations. And the third benefit of visualisation is it's a way of getting in extra practice without the physical fatigue and the impact and the load on the body, which is very beneficial when you think about the high-low sport of running. Well, now, how does visualisation actually work? And I'm glad you asked. It works by using the mind-body connection. When we think about performing a task or a skill, it activates similar brain areas. The brain rehearses the action, sending signals to muscles and preparing them for actual execution. This occurs primarily in the motor cortex area of the brain. And this is an area that's been researched extensively, and you may have heard stories of people with a broken arm or an injured leg visualising activating that muscle and maintaining strength through their rehabilitation practice when they can't actually move that limb. Our brain is sending signals to that injured limb. It also works by utilising neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to relearn, reorganise neural pathways for more successful outcomes. So by practicing visualisation, we reinforce these neural pathways, improving skills, reaction times, enhance muscle memory, make movements more fluid and automatic. We can improve pain tolerance, which is pretty epic benefit for trail and ultra runners. Prepares us for psychological readiness for competition, so if we're anxious or tend to get overwhelmed at the start line, and it can help us focus and lower stress and anxiety. All of this practice enhances real-world performance. I'm going to describe the 4 steps to practicing visualisation, but hang around because after that I'm going to discuss the important tweaks you need to make or need to consider as runners. So the first step is to relax. We need to find a quiet place where you won't be distracted, then engaging in some relaxing rhythmic breathing that just down-regulates your nervous system and settles everything down. Once you're relaxed, you can then start to imagine particular scenarios or going through certain imagery exercises and making them as clear as possible in your mind, almost as if you're watching a movie from a first-person perspective. To help even more, we want to engage with our senses. What you can see, hear, feel, smell and taste. Make the visualisation come alive by engaging all of your senses and get very specific. If you've got a coastal run, you might think of the smell of the ocean. Or if you're running in the Alps somewhere, you might think of the sound of cowbells in the background. You want to get really creative and make this as real as possible. Fourth, we need to visualise mostly successful outcomes, but some challenges. The 80-20 rule is a pretty good guide here. 80% successful executions and 20% visualising challenging situations that we eventually overcome, but may not be ideal. As we can. 5 to 7 times a week for 5 to 15 minutes for best results. You can do more, but that's the minimum dose that research suggests. It's pretty simple and can be quite fun and enjoyable when you get into it, so give it a go and let me know how you get on with it. But now that you know how to practice visualization, let's discuss how we can specifically apply this to running. Visualization is a key skill and major part of that sport. Think of golf, gymnastics, tennis, lots of martial arts, track and field, often sports with a very high skill and accuracy component. A gymnast, for example, can practice visualization on a very specific skill or routine that might only last for us in real time. Running, especially ultra marathons, we don't expect you to sit down and visualize the entirety of your race for 12 or 24 hours. So what are an ultra runners? Well, we might focus on specific problem areas. The start line is a good starting place, pun intended. If you have a habit of going out too hard, or if you suffer from crippling race day anxiety, then visualizing how you will successfully navigate these problems will be really helpful. You might visualize navigating a foreseeable challenge or problem, such as cramping, a missed drop bag, a fall, or just a low patch. Visualize these setbacks and imagine yourself successfully overcoming them or managing them as best as you realistically can in that situation. Because this is great practice for when it happens. When you're out there in the middle of race day, you've been there 100 times before in your mind, and you'll be more quickly and automatically able to navigate this situation. You might visualize how you want to feel in certain sections of the race. Maybe break a long race up into quarters and imagine how you want to look and feel at each stage of that race. Visualize yourself digging deep when it starts to hurt and how you will successfully deal with the pain. There are many examples that you can come up with yourself, so play around with it, have a little fun with it, and really embrace trying to bring those imagery exercises alive as possible yourself. So play around with it, have a bit of fun with it. Many athletes credit visualization as being a key part to their success. Think of Kobe Bryant, Michael Phelps, to name a couple. Let me know how you go and what you specifically like to visualize as a runner in the comments below. And if you'd like to join the endurance performance team, it's free. The link in the description is also below. You'll get access to the 8-week mindset course, and you can choose to work with me one-on-one to tackle those trickier mindset challenges. Happy trail running, and see you out in the trails.